You get your paycheck on a Friday, go to a party that evening, go out to eat with friends on Saturday, have lunch out the rest of the week, stop by a vending machine a few times, grab Starbucks once or twice when you woke up late, and by the end of the following week, you're running tight on money and wonder where it all went. Those purchases throughout the week didn't seem like so much at the time, but together, it was a lot. Maybe you think a budget will help. When I started to budget every dollar, my monthly savings tripled. And I'll go so far as to say that is normal when you start to budget. But school never taught you to budget unless you purposely took a finance class. In this video, I'll break down budget creation into 10 simple steps. First, write down all sources of income you receive each month, including salary, wages, bonuses, and any other money you earn. If you don't have a set income amount because you are commission-based, I'll explain how to address that later in this video. Second, make a list of all your monthly expenses, including rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, debt payments, entertainment, and any other regular expenses. Third, differentiate between fixed and variable expenses. Identify which expenses stay the same each month, like rent, and which ones vary, like groceries or entertainment. Your fixed expenses are often necessary expenses and may not be changeable. You can't determine how much rent or mortgage you pay, though you can look at shopping around for insurance, phone plans, and TV. Your variable expenses are often discretionary. Groceries may make sense at a certain amount, but you could lower that cost with more pasta or rice-based meals. Next, set financial goals. Determine what you want to achieve with your budget, whether it's paying off debt, saving for a vacation, or building an emergency fund. This gives your budget a purpose and increases the likelihood that you will stick to it. Then, prioritize your spending. Decide which expenses are essential and which ones are discretionary. Focus on covering your needs first, like housing, food, and utilities. We covered this previously, but it's essential to recognize this need, because discretionary expenses are what kill your income, because there's no set need and therefore it is easy to overspend with it. Then assign dollar amounts. Allocate a specific amount of money each month to each expense category based on your income and priorities. Be realistic and ensure that your total expenses don't exceed your total income. You may need to trim your discretionary expenses to do this. If your needs exceed your income, it will be a tough decision, but you need to make a difficult change somewhere, perhaps in taking a roommate or downsizing your housing. But until your expenses are lower than income, you won't ever build wealth. Unfortunately, wealth building takes sacrifice. Once the budget is in place, track your spending. Keep tabs on your spending throughout the month to see if you're sticking to your budget. You can use a pen and paper, a spreadsheet, or budgeting apps to help you track your expenses. You'll need to identify what works best for you. I personally like a spreadsheet, but sometimes paper or an app is better for others. I recommend reviewing at least weekly and preferably daily so you don't miss any expenses. Then adjust as needed. Review your budget regularly and make adjustments as necessary. If you find you're constantly overspending in certain areas, consider cutting back or reallocating funds from other categories. This is especially true for items like groceries that are subject to inflation but are a necessary expense. In step 9, you'll want to build an emergency fund. If you budget but never have anything extra, an emergency purchase will kill your budget. Aim to set aside some money each month for unexpected expenses or emergencies. Having an emergency fund can prevent you from dipping into your savings or going into debt when unexpected costs arise. I would prioritize building a small emergency savings of $1,000 to $2,000 right at the beginning if you haven't already, to cover vehicle repairs or other expenses that may pop up unexpectedly. The last step, but in some ways one of the most important, is to celebrate your progress. Acknowledge your achievements as you stick to your budget and work towards your financial goals. Whether it's paying off debt or reaching a savings milestone, celebrate your successes along the way. This will make you more likely to continue on the path of budgeting on a consistent basis. Before I wrap up this video, I said I would come back to commission-based earners. If you're commission-based, start with essential payments, things that you can't live without, and pay those first, followed by wants if there is room in your income for them that month. Since you don't know exactly what to expect, you'll need to plan only to meet necessities first. I would love to hear some of your budgeting tips or questions in the comments below.